Mikel Arteta has finally given us Arsenal fans an update on the Thomas Partey situation. Let's react to it.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
We talked a bit about new signings today, but one player who's obviously not with Arsenal anymore is Thomas Partey. He's now facing some very serious criminal charges. Can I ask for your reaction to that? And obviously he's not an Arsenal player. Was the prospect or possibility of those charges a factor in the decision not to renew his contract?
Well, I think the club was very clear in its statement. There are a lot of legal matters that are very complicated, so I cannot comment in any of that.
I appreciate that, but a lot of fans have questions over the way in which the matter was handled by the club. Do you feel confident and comfortable that the club followed all the right processes in that?
100%, yeah.
Thank you.
Mikel Arteta claims that Arsenal 100% followed the right processes from that Thomas Partey situation. The topic being that the former Arsenal player has been charged with 5 counts of R and 1 count of SA from 3 victims. He is due in court on the 5th of August as Arsenal are currently in Singapore, ready to play AC Milan and Newcastle. And that was Mikel Arteta's first press conference since Thomas Partey's departure and charges. Look, I can understand that Arsenal want to distance themselves from the player. They don't want to get involved in the situation now that he's left the club. They don't want to make him seem innocent when he could not be innocent, but also make him seem guilty when he could not be guilty. But I feel like more needs to be done in raising awareness about RNSA across football. You know, nobody deserves to be RNSA'd. And if you are a victim of that, please click the link in the description and reach out, because people deserve the support they need. And that's what annoys me, is the lack of awareness about these cases. If football teams and football associations and broadcasters could raise awareness about homophobia, LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter with the taking the knee stance in the Premier League games, or greed for life stuff. They could raise awareness on RNSA victims. They could raise awareness on what not to do as a human being. And I'll give you an experience last week, my birthday. I just wanted to have fun, 2 of my mates. And there was a woman whose drink literally got SPIKED. She didn't know where she was going. She was falling over all over again. She was slurring her words. Me and 2 of my mates were looking out, trying to assess the situation. Luckily, there was one lady that looked out for her, looked after her, and she was okay. She ended up home safely after her family picked her up from a 2-hour drive, in fact. But you notice what people do. There was a couple people that were involved in the situation, making things uncomfortable. One person spat her drink, tried to take her to a hotel. And if people raised awareness about this sort of thing, about RNSA and what not to do on a night out, and all of this would be avoidable. Footballers, okay, there's a case of Benjamin Mendy, he's been proved innocent. But there's many other footballers that have been proven to be guilty, that have been caught, that have had evidence prove it. Some of them still playing football, some of them still having, trying to work their way around life, but others have had their careers ruined. So it's important to raise awareness of the situation and speak about the situation and how uncomfortable it is. I hope that the evidence is a lie, like with this case, that nobody has been RNSA'd, because nobody deserves to go through that, and it might have been, a lie in the case that they tried to make him look stupid, make him seem like he done it for a bit. If that is the case and he is innocent, then Arsenal have done nothing wrong, as Arteta has said. Arsenal, the more I learn more about it, they couldn't really do much. Legal implications, if they had fired the guy or made him look differently, or, suspended him, there was a right of them to respond and suing them, and this could have dragged on and on in the media and everywhere it needs to be. Whereas where he's let them play on for so long, okay, 2 questions on a press conference. That is it. In that press conference, obviously Arteta says that, you know, he had to relay to what Arsenal had said. Arsenal literally took no responsibility in the statement saying he has left. We can't say anything about it, which I could understand, but more responsibility has to be done. But as opposed to he said that he 100% agrees with what happened with the situation that, you know, and Partey has come out with his lawyer denying all the charges, denying himself of any wrongdoing. So Arsenal probably did trust that, you know, he was compliant with the police the whole time he was there, you know, going to the police stations or whatnot. But Arsenal did come out and say he was injured a few times. Maybe he wasn't, and this case was ongoing. But yeah, the charges were made from 2021 and 2022. Yeah, there's 3 different victims here, and it's very uncomfortable reading. And yet Arsenal are playing AC Milan on Wednesday, then going to play Newcastle over in Singapore. Then they travel to Hong Kong for a North London derby before travelling back to the Emirates for 2 clashes against Villarreal and Athletic Club Bilbao. And then the Premier League season starts. So, yeah, Partey is in court from August the 5th. It'll be done. You know, this case will be over. One thing I also say is that it is refreshing that he's not at the club anymore. That the players can just play football without playing alongside a teammate accused of that. But it's also important to know that the victims deserve a bit of support and love. And I do hope they were lying. Just because I hope they didn't receive RNSA. They didn't. Do you know what I mean? So let me know what you think in the comments below. What could have Arteta said? Could they have said anything more? I'm not as emotional or angry about this case because I've raised awareness about this a fair few times. It is just disappointing the more I look at it, seeing that there's more to be done that isn't being done, because anybody could just get away with it. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. In a bit, people. In a bit. I am out.